Hello and welcome to the H2H Sports Podcast. This is episode number 51. My name's Ismael San Juan. Thank you so much for being here. Nadal and Djokovic play an instant classic. Djokovic takes down Nadal 3-1 in Roland Garros. Crazy, incredible stuff. Also, the Euros start. I'll give my prediction on who I think is going to make it to the final and who I think is going to win. Italy beats Turkey 3-0 in the opening match. Also, Utah goes up 2-0 on the Clippers. Are they done, or are they going to come back like they did in the first round? Bucks squeak out a victory over the Nets in Game 3. Julio Jones gets traded to the Titans, and Aaron Rodgers is missing from mandatory OTAs. All of that on this episode of the H2H Sports Podcast. Let's get started. Nadal versus Djokovic. Djokovic versus Nadal. Two of the GOATs, two of the big three going at it at the semifinal of the French Open. Playing in clay, Nadal's court. Everyone thought that Nadal was going to win. People did give Djokovic a chance just because he came in hot. We know he's an exceptional tennis player, but we also know the brilliance of Nadal when he plays in clay. He is the clay king. But nonetheless, Djokovic gets revenge for last year's final, beating Nadal 3-1, taking 3 sets in a row after Nadal takes the first one. Incredible stuff. If you guys missed that game, you guys completely missed out on one of the most epic matches of all time. Andy Murray was saying there were so many people that were watching the game that were commenting on it. It was just incredible. The Euros were starting at the same time. I had both games on at the same time. I had Nadal versus Djokovic on my main screen. I had Italy versus Turkey in my second screen. And man, this Nadal game was just incredible. This Djokovic game was just incredible. There were so many good rallies. There were so many good moments. It was just incredible hits by both players. You really get to see the level of these players, how much better they are than their competition. Having watched the opening semifinal right before, Zverev versus Tsitsipas. I'm completely butchering their names, but they played 5 sets. It was an entertaining game. But like I've seen others comment after this game, it looks like kids playing when you compare it to Djokovic and Nadal, and the brilliance and just the spectacle that comes with these two greats, these two mammoths of the sport playing. It was 4 hours long, a little bit over 4 hours, and I thoroughly enjoyed all 4 hours of it. I was glued to the TV. I wanted another set. I wanted Nadal to pull it out in the fourth just so we could see a fifth set of this brilliance game. One of the moments of this match that didn't really involve tennis was they're playing in France, and right now because of COVID they have a 11 p.m. Curfew, and the third set, which was the most epic set, it went to a tie break. Djokovic ended up winning that tie break 7-4. After that third set, I believe the local time in France was approaching 11. It was like around 10:45, almost like 10 minutes till the curfew, and all the commentators from NBC were talking about how this place was gonna erupt. They were gonna probably be boos and stuff because they were gonna give them the notice that they had to leave the arena, the stadium, and make their way home because of the curfew. But after the third set, there was an announcement that said that the fans could stay, and that was, even as a fan, just watching from my own room, from my own apartment, it felt great. Just knowing that the fans were going to be allowed to stay there because the ambiance was amazing. Like the atmosphere in the stadium was just crazy. There was after either Nadal or Djokovic made a good play, made a good hit, made a good serve, they were chanting Novak, or Djokovic, and Nadal. It was just, the atmosphere is crazy. It's great to see fans back in these stadiums, no matter what sport it is, soccer, football, basketball, tennis, golf, anything. It's just, it's a pleasure to see fans back in these stadiums having fun, enjoying the sport whichever sport it may be. And Djokovic versus Nadal, it was just an amazing display. If we were to dig into the game right now, I think the first set, even though Djokovic lost, I think it was crucial for him the way he fought back. Nadal took the first 5 games. He opened up a 5-0 lead. And at that point, if you were on Twitter, if you were just, watching the game, texting your friends, it just looked like it was a regular Nadal masterclass in clay. You were getting flashbacks of last year's final. You were thinking, damn, Nadal is just going to wreck Djokovic again. This might be a 3-0 sweep like last year in the finals. And Djokovic dug deep and won the next 3 games, making it 5-3. And then Nadal was able to finish the set 6-3. But once Djokovic took those 3 games after Nadal started 5-0, you knew he came to play. His demeanor completely changed too. The announcers were even commenting on it. They were saying when he was down 5-0, like, oh, I want to see a little bit more emotion from Djokovic. Where's his emotion? Why is he not celebrating after like these nice hits, after these nice rallies that he's getting points on? And it just looked like Nadal was going to stay on top. But then Djokovic fought back. He got 3 games in, ended up losing 6-3, but then just completely dominated the second set, winning 6-3 himself. The third set was more even. Djokovic took a 5-3 lead on the games, I believe. And the announcers foolishly were already running the stats. They were like, damn, Djokovic is about to be the first tennis player to take a 2-1 set lead against Nadal in the French Open since I don't remember his name, but they were getting ahead of themselves. And then one of the other announcers was like, "Well, hold up, this is not over yet. I know it's 5-3, but don't ever count out Nadal." And sure enough, Nadal, vintage Nadal, digging deep, never giving up, never forfeiting a set, never giving up on a set, comes back from 5-3 and takes a 6-3, 6-5. I mean, down 5-3. Takes a 6-3 game lead, wins 3 in a row, and now Djokovic is against the ropes. It looks like Nadal is going to, take control of this match. He's going to take the 2-1 set lead and just completely, demoralize Djokovic if he's able to pull off this third set comeback. But Djokovic, obviously, he's one of the GOATs. He's one of the greats. After losing 3 games in a row, he himself digs deep and ties it up 6-6. We go to a tie break, and Nadal kind of struggles out of the opening game. I believe he had 2 error serves, just gives up the first point to Djokovic. And after that, Djokovic just kind of was emphatic, was methodical, and wins the tie break 7-4. After that, the whole curfew thing happened. I was like, well, they were kind of mentioning how earlier in the French Open, it kind of took fans a while to get them out of there. And I think this happened to Djokovic before, like 2 rounds earlier. And I guess the opponent, Djokovic, was kind of had momentum because the fans took a while to exit the arena. Said player lost momentum, and it took like 30-40 minutes for them to resume play. I think that was one of the main reasons why they just allowed the fans to stay. They didn't want that to happen to either Djokovic or Nadal, whoever had the momentum. And it was Djokovic. Djokovic, I believe, did have the momentum. It would have hurt him if they would have taken a long pause. But fortunately for him, fortunately for us as fans, they allowed the fans to stay there. But nonetheless, Nadal, the fighter that he is, took a 2-0 lead in set number 4, and it just looked like we were in for a 5-set match. It looked like Nadal was gonna, dig deep and win the 4th set to force a 5th set. But then Djokovic just completely took over, winning six sets in a row, I believe, if I remember correctly. Winning 6 sets in a row, winning 6-2, beating Nadal in clay for the second time. The Clay King has fallen. It's a crazy day if you think about it. All these numbers that Nadal came in before this match, 105 out of 107 matches he has won. Now it's 105 out of 108. Still crazy numbers, but now Djokovic has the chance to get to his 19th Grand Slam victory. He should be the heavy favorite against the Greek Tsitsipas. I'm completely butchering his name. I apologize for that. But he should be the favorite. He should get to 19th, and he should be the favorite for the Wimbledon and the U.S. Open, is what I'm hearing. So Djokovic, if everything goes well to finish 2021, he could finish just sweeping. He could finish with 19 to 21 Grand Slam victories if he's able to pull off these next 3 tournaments. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. The final is on Sunday, 6 a.m. where I'm at. But it should be a good game. It should be a good match. I do have Djokovic winning. I just think Djokovic, Nadal, all these tennis players, they're just a level above everyone else. Still at their ripe age of 34. If you guys didn't see the match, I suggest you guys try to catch some highlights, the elongated highlights if they're out there. Try to watch that because there were so many good moments. For Nadal, he didn't play his best game. There were so many unforced errors that he had. It's just uncharacteristic of Nadal, especially in clay. I believe in the third set he had over 20 unforced error, which was just uncharacteristic of Nadal. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. There was a lot of points that he left out there. There was a lot of points where he had Djokovic on one side and the complete wide open court on the other to just finish off the game and get the point. And he just completely missed it for some reason. It was not the best game for Nadal. It looked like he was kind of lingering towards the end. I don't know if his ankle was bothering. We'll have to see how that plays out. But overall, amazing match. This is what tennis is about. 2 giants going at it. When the big 3 retires, it's gonna be devastating. Hopefully, there's a young talent that could step it up. And obviously, I don't think there's ever gonna be another big 3. There's probably never gonna be another tennis generation like this. If we're ever able to get just one player that could reach the level of these players, it would be just enormous. But even then, I feel like we don't really appreciate as much these the accomplishments that they're doing. If obviously they push each other, all 3 of them push each other, Federer, Djokovic, Nadal. But if let's say one of them wasn't there and it was just 2 people pushing each other, they would have more titles themselves, but they're dividing it amongst 3. So even if we get one person just comes after these and gets, let's say, 15, 16 Grand Slam titles, but it's just them dominating, I think that still won't give it justice how good these people are. Anyways, I'm rambling. Just enjoy Nadal, enjoy Djokovic. They're getting towards the end of their careers. I still think they'll be elite for 3, 4, 5 more years, hopefully, maybe more than that. Federer, he's approaching 40, so we'll see how long he has. But just after watching these 2 play today, an amazing match. It's bittersweet because it was an amazing match. You love to see it, but it's also a reminder that we don't have too many of these left, so enjoy them. And shout out to Djokovic. To defeat Nadal in clay is one of the hardest accomplishments to have in all of sports, not just tennis. So shout out to him. And now he has a chance to get to 19 and get 1 away from Nadal and Federer. But let me know what you guys think. Did you guys enjoy this match? Did you guys watch it? If you guys didn't, like I said, try to catch it somewhere because it was amazing. But moving along to the Euros. The Euro 2020 started today. I'll touch on that game in a little bit. Italy beat Turkey 3-0. But first, I want to give my predictions for Euro 2020. There's obviously a lot of strong candidates for this. There's a lot of good teams in Europe. I'm talking Belgium. I'm talking Italy. I'm talking France, Portugal. Obviously, Germany's no slouch. There's a lot of good teams that could compete for the title this year. And if you pick any of these teams, I don't think anyone could really fault you for picking these teams. But personally, myself, I think it's going to be France and Portugal in the final. I know they're in the same group, so either one of them is going to finish first and second, and they're going to be put in different sides of the bracket. But I just think France, they're the world champions. Portugal, they're the defending European champions, and I just think they have the best squads in in all of Europe. Belgium, they've been dark horses for the last like 8 years. This is their golden generation. I think they're gonna be strong candidates to make it all the way to the final and possibly win it. But if you look at the French squad, you have probably the weakest part of their team is Lloris, because he has some mistakes sometimes, but he plays good when he plays for the national team. I think he'll be solid for them. Varane, you have Kurzuma, he's all right, but you have Pogba, Conte just manning the middle, Griezmann at the top with Kylian Mbappe, Benzema. You just have so much talent. I think the midfield is really going to shine for France, Pogba, and Conte. Conte being the best midfielder in the world right now. Benzema just at the ripe age at 34, he's still an amazing forward. Kylian Mbappe is just a world-class player. How do you stop Mbappe? Benzema, Giroud is amazing with France. Griezmann, he's good with France too. He steps it up, even though he didn't have all that best of season with Barcelona. And their back forward, Varane manning the middle. It's just France could put two squads, and the second squad could still be like a top 4, top 6 favorite. They're just so deep. I see France following up their great performance by winning the World Cup, following their World Cup performance by making it to the final. And then I look at the Portugal squad, and obviously they have their talisman, Cristiano Ronaldo, leading that team. But they have amazing talent at all 3 levels of the field. They have Ruben Dias to man that back 4. He's the best center back in the Premier League, probably the best center back in the world. He's an amazing player. Bruno Fernandes, another amazing season in the Premier League. He had over 20 goals, a lot of assists. You then have João Felix at the top to go along with Cristiano Ronaldo. You have players like Jota who can get hot, who could score goals in bunches too. You have Silva, who's a genius with the ball, who could find their forwards, who could pick people out. The squad is just nice. Is the weakness for Portugal is probably the center back that's going to be accompanying Ruben Dias. Is it going to be Pepe? Will they try to put maybe Nelson Semedo next to him? Was it Fonte? I think they're going to just put Pepe or Fonte. And then Joao Cancelo, he's a good right back, good left back. Semedo too. This Portugal team is deep too. The midfield, they have Renato Sanchez, Moutinho, the old man with the white hairs, Bruno Fernandes, Ruben Neves from the Wolves, William Carvalho. They're deep. Portugal is deep. They can score goals in bunches. They have their talisman, Cristiano Ronaldo. Andre Silva had a great season in the Bundesliga, scoring goals in bunches. Bernardo Silva, the genius with the ball. João Felix, one of the most exciting young players in the world. And Diego Jota, who had a injury-filled season with Liverpool, but when he did play, he looked very dangerous, and he's had some good performances for Portugal. This is why I have Portugal and France as my finals. They are in the same group, so they'll definitely be familiar with each other. They're in the death group, so Germany's there too. We'll see how it plays out. I do have both of them. I have France and Portugal either finishing first or second, and then they'll go in different sides of the bracket and eventually meet in the final. That's my prediction. What do you guys think about my prediction? Obviously, I don't think I'm saying anything crazy. I'm not picking any of the dark horses. I know some people had Turkey as a dark horse, or maybe Italy. Italy's a good dark horse. They've won like 9 straight matches. They haven't conceded goals. Italy looks solid. Who do you guys have winning the Euros? I'm just excited that it's finally here after a year of delayment because of COVID. It's still called Euro 2020, but now in 2021, we're finally get to enjoy these European nations going at it. It's the best of these tournaments, of these regional tournaments, of these national team regional tournaments. It's better than the Copa America, in my opinion. It's definitely better than the Gold Cup. It's better than the African, I forgot what that one's called. And it's better than the Asian one too. The Euros is on another level. I hope you guys are excited to watch it. I'm very excited to see how these Euros play out. My prediction is a French and Portugal final. And I do have Portugal repeating as European champions. Let me know down below. Let me know. Tweet at me. Who do you guys have making it to the final? Who do you guys have winning the whole thing? One more time, I have Portugal repeating as European champions. Yeah, that's that. To open up the Euro 2020, Italy played against Turkey. They're part of Group A, and in that group, there's also Wales and Switzerland. The game was good. Italy thoroughly dominated. Turkey never really looked dangerous. They were happy to just sit back and try to get Italy on the counterattack. They were happy. They were definitely happy to go into halftime 0-0. It looked like they were, you could tell in the first half that they were overmatched, that Italy looked like the dominant team. They had all the possession. They were the most dangerous team. It looked like Turkey was just very happy to go into halftime 0-0. If you would have told them at halftime, hey, let's take the 0-0 on the first match in Italy, I think everyone in Turkey, everyone part of the Turkey team would have taken that, would have told you that was a great result. But Italy turned it up in the second half, and they finished with the 3-0 victory. Unfortunate for Turkey, the first goal was an own goal, but that just goes to show what happens if you're persistent, if you continue attacking. Italy was getting to the touchline, dangerous cross. The defender, Dimiral, he was in a bad position. There's nothing really he could do. It's not really his fault. Like there's just really nothing he could do. The ball came in with a lot of pace, and he was just in a bad spot. And after that, Italy looked dangerous. Italy made most of their possession. They were pressing Turkey very high. Immobile with the goal in the 66th minute. And then Insigne at the 79th minute to wrap it up. Kind of a mistake by the goalkeeper trying to play out. Italy was pressing. The goalkeeper tried to, lob the ball to his left back. It didn't work out. Easy, like 4 touches. And then Insigne has the ball one-on-one. He's not going to miss. Italy, just overall, is a solid display by Italy. They look solid at the back. They scored 3 goals. They handled Turkey. Turkey was one of those teams that some people were considering as a dark horse, and Italy handily take care of Turkey with the 3-0 victory. Italy, I was considering Italy for a deep run. Italy they have a great goalkeeper. They have a good defense. Their forwards could score. Their midfield, it looked very solid. They control the game today. And that was without Verratti. Verratti is expected to come back, I believe, in the group stages. Like his injury, it shouldn't linger all the way to the group stage, to the knockout rounds. He should be coming during the group stages, I believe. So they will have Verratti at some point. Bonucci, Cellini look solid. They're older center backs, but they were solid in the back. I think Italy should comfortably get that first spot in Group A. They are the best team in this group. I don't think Turkey or Wales or Switzerland really have a chance of overtaking Italy for the top spot in Group A. And overall, it was just a solid performance by Italy. I didn't think they were going to win 3-0 at halftime. It kind of looked like they were just... I did think they were going to win. I just didn't think it was going to be 3-0. I think Turkey was they weren't looking dangerous, but they were looking very surprisingly solid at the back. Italy didn't really have too many clear chances. If I remember correctly, they had a header from Bonucci that the goalkeeper stopped. And other than that, they didn't really create too many chances in the first half, but they completely took care of it in the second half, 3-0 by Italy. If you were to tell me that Italy is your dark horse to make it all the way to the finals or to even win it, I have nothing against that. They are the 5-time World Cup winners. Italy as a nation is a soccer nation. You can never count out Italy. They're very organized. They know how to play football. They know how to make the most of their players. The system is good. I like what I saw from Italy. Nothing that I saw from Italy is deterring me from putting them down on the rankings or like I said, they're one of the top candidates as a dark horse to win this whole thing, and today showed it. They have quality. Their players, it looks like they love the jersey. They love playing for Italy, and I'm very excited to see if they're able to go deep into these Euros. These Euros is going to be amazing. I'm so excited to see these Euros. So many good teams, so many good players. But yeah, let me know. How far do you guys have Italy going? Personally, I have them in the quarterfinals, I believe. But if they make the semis, I would not be surprised. Strong showing by Italy in the first game. Turkey, this is a very devastating result, 3-0. Now they're down 3 in the goal differential. Do they have enough to get that second spot, competing against Wales and Switzerland? I think they still do. I think they still. This is not like kill their chances. They still have a solid team. They have a solid defense. They didn't really concede too many goals leading up to the Euros, so they're just gonna solidify that defense. 3 goals was not expected today against Turkey, but hopefully for them they bounce back and they don't allow this first game to demoralize them. I do like some of their players from Turkey, so hopefully they don't have their head down low. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought of the opening game of the Euros. It was funny, before the kickoff they had a little car bring out the soccer ball to the ref. I thought that was cool. I don't know if that's a promotion by Volkswagen or if that was because of the pandemic and trying to be socially distanced, but overall the atmosphere looked good. Another instance where I'm just happy to see fans back in the stadiums. And Italy, they look solid. They look like the real deal. They're one of the favorites for being a dark horse, and they showed it today why they're considered by most the strongest dark horse of this year's Euros. But moving along to the NBA, Utah take care of the Clippers at home, take a 2-0 lead on the Clippers, heading back to LA. Are the Clippers done? We've seen this movie before in these years' playoffs, but it feels a little different. I mean, for the Clippers' sake, being down 2-0 to Utah is a little bit better than being down 2-0 against the Mavs, because against the Mavs, they lost 2 games at home and it looked more dire. Like, you had to go to Dallas being down 2-0. At least at this point, the Clippers are down 2-0 or 0-2, but now they're going back to LA. They're going home. They get to sleep in their own beds. So that's, if you want to look at it in a positive lining, that's the positive side. They lost 2 away games, so it's not the end of the world. Just take care of business at home, and you should be, even up the series 2-2, and that's what most people expect after 4 games. That's like a solid result. But the negative side is that Donovan Mitchell looks like the best player in this series. He was amazing in the first half. I believe he finished with 28 points in the first half. They held him to 9 points in the second half. They went to a zone. Tyronn Lue did make some adjustments, so shout out to him. But still, with that being said, Donovan Mitchell does look like the best player in this series. So the Clippers have to dig deep. They have to find either Kawhi or PG. They need to, establish themselves again as one of the best perimeter defenders. Everyone calls them, the best combination of perimeter defenders in the league because they could score, they could defend. We've heard this a lot when they join forces. And now 2 back-to-back series, we have Luka going off on them. We have Donovan Mitchell going off on them. We got to see them establish their defensive prowess, or else the Clippers are going home. And like I said, the West is wide open. The Suns look good. The Nuggets have the MVP. We'll see how they bounce back tonight. But the Clippers have the 2 biggest stars left in the West side of the NBA, in the Western Conference. So to be down 2-0 against Utah, that's a little upsetting if you're a Clippers fan. Rudy Gobert, he won the Defensive Player of the Year for the 3rd time in his career. He had some great plays last night. He definitely deters the Clippers from attacking the paint. He's a giant down there. He's the Eiffel Tower. He had a great game, just getting boards, getting blocks. But for the Clippers, I think Kawhi needs to take over. I've said this before against the Mavs. He just needs to take over. I don't know how his body's handling the playoffs. He's not getting as many minutes as PG. PG basically plays like 44 minutes regularly, and Kawhi just plays like 37, 38. I know it might be difficult for him to go the distance, but they're gonna need more from him because being down 2-0 is not a pretty thing. The Clippers did make a comeback. They were down like 10 points at halftime. They took the lead in the third quarter just to give it right back. The Clippers, I think they just have this weird tendency of when they're down, they make comebacks. They might even take like a 1 or 2 point lead, 3 point lead. But they can never really sustain. They make sick ass comebacks where you're like, damn, there you go, Clippers. Like, good for you guys for making this comeback, for taking control of the game, and then they just let it slip away for some reason. It's frustrating because you see how this is PG's and Kawhi's team, and then they take the lead, and it feels like they lose the lead because these other role players just take too many shots. Like, don't get me wrong, it's like if you're doing a lot of ball movement and the shots are there, go ahead and take it. Like Morris, if you're open, take it. Luke Kennard, Beverly, if you're open, take it. But it just seems like sometimes they lose these momentums or they lose these runs that they're going on, and it just feels like, damn, we lost that lead, and neither Kawhi or PG took a shot during that run or during this like negative 8-0 run that just happened. Like, Utah just went on a 9-0 run, and that whole time our two biggest stars were on the court and none of them took a shot. Like, why is that happening? So I just find that frustrating. Like, if I was a Clipper fan, I would be frustrated, like, seeing that happen. Like stop the run. Like, all right, yeah, they scored 4 in a row, they scored 5 in a row. Give the ball to Kawhi. Like, let him like stop that run. Get us a bucket, or give the ball to PG and get us a bucket to stop this run. And it just seems like they panic. They just, I don't know. It sometimes seems like I want to give Morris props. He doesn't shy away from the moment. He's always ready to shoot, for good or for bad. Sometimes he does hit those threes, and you're like, damn, Morris is a beast. Like, look at that shot that he took. It doesn't matter if there's a guy in front of him. He's taking that shot. But sometimes it's like, all right, buddy, you should have passed the ball. All I know is that being down 2-0 to the Jazz, to the Utah Jazz, is not the same as being down to the Mavs, because Utah is deep. Bogdanovich, he could shoot. He was defending great against Kawhi. Ingles is gonna find his shot. Clarkson had a good game. Yeah, he had like a spurt in the third quarter. He was just going off. It's not just Donovan Mitchell like it just was Luka. He has help. Mike Conley's not even playing, so he's gonna come back. He might not play tonight, or on Saturday whenever they play again. He might not play game 3, but if they go game 4, game 5, he should be back for that. So Utah, they're already up 2-0, and they still got Mike Conley coming back. This is not looking so good for the Clippers. Like I said, the silver lining is that they are going back to LA, and the Tyronn Lue made an adjustment in the second half of game 2 that did seem to help slow down Donovan Mitchell. So we'll see if he goes back to that zone to start off game 3 in LA. And we'll see if PG is able to turn it on. He did have 27 points, I believe, but just on terrible shooting. He had another rough day making shots. Kawhi, like I said, he needs to be more aggressive. He needs to be the best player on the court for these Clippers to win. And the Clippers I feel like they just need to control momentum better. They let momentum get away from them too easily. They let other teams go on runs too easily. And there needs to be someone or somebody that steps up and says, hey, like, I'm gonna clog this run that they're going on. Like, there's no way they're gonna just keep going on these runs. But it does look dire for the Clippers, not gonna lie. Utah's playing some of the best basketball in the playoffs. They shoot threes like crazy. They're the first team in NBA history to score 10 plus threes in all their games in the regular season. That's a crazy stat. They can shoot the lights out of anybody. Conley should be coming back. He's a great facilitator. He could control the tempo. He's great in the playoffs. It's looking dire for the Clippers. Game 3 is definitely a must-win game by the Clippers in LA. If they lose Game 3, this series is over. But what do you guys think? Are the Clippers done? Personally, I don't think they're done, but they do need to win Game 3. Game 3 is a must-win game. Let me know down below, or tweet at me at hard2handlesports_ or on Instagram, hard2handlesports. Let me know what you guys think. Are the Clippers done? Is the Utah Jazz going to advance to the Western Conference Finals? Let me know. The Bucks win Game 3. They prevent the sweep. They squeak out a victory against the Nets, 86-83. Milwaukee came out hot. They took a 30-11 lead in the first quarter. I think the biggest lead was a 21-point lead. And then they surrendered it in the second half. In the second quarter, the Nets win the second quarter 31-15. The Bucks were barely holding on to a 45-42 lead going into half. It just looked like, man, after the hot start that the Bucks had, the fans were going crazy. The atmosphere was great in the arena. It just felt like, damn, like, are they just going to trade blowouts? Are the Bucks going to blow them out at home? Like, you kind of got this feeling like, whoa, like these Bucks, like they came ready. But then the Nets made it a game. And honestly, the first thought that I had in my mind was like, damn, these Bucks just blew it. Like they had a 21-point lead. They're down 2-0 against the Nets at home. Like they must be thinking like, what do we have to do to win a game? Like we were up 21 in the first quarter and we're going into halftime just up 3. But it was a very sloppy game throughout the whole game was just sloppy. There was a lot of turnovers. Both teams weren't shooting well. To finish the game 86-83 in today's NBA, that's really catered to scoring points. The way the refs call fouls, the way the pace of today's NBA is just crazy for a game to end 86-83. That's the lowest scoring. That's the lowest score by a winning team in this year's playoffs, 86 points. But it doesn't matter for the Bucks. They're just content of getting on the board. The series is now 1-2, and they have another game in Milwaukee. Can they win Game 4 and tie the series 2-2? I believe they can. Will they? That's a whole different thing. The Bucks have been shooting miserably from the 3-point line. If any of their role players could start making shots, they will have a shot in Game 4. I don't think they're going to be able to hold the Nets to 83 again. KD struggled through 3 quarters, and then he kind of took over at the end of the third and the fourth. Kyrie struggled throughout. And Giannis just keeps being frustrating, keeps being annoying, in my opinion. 33 points, 14 rebounds, 2 assists, but just abysmal from the free throw line again. It's just they called the 10-second violation on him. That's just... It's irritating as a neutral. It's irritating as an Antetokounmpo fan. It must be excruciating if you're a Milwaukee Bucks fan. Obviously, he's your best player. But if you're down 0-2 in the series, I would be screaming at the TV if this guy just keeps missing free throw after free throw after free throw, and you're down 0-2. But thankfully for them, they got the victory. Chris Middleton had his best game of the playoffs, 35 points. He scored 8 of the last 10 points for the Bucks to squeak out the victory. But other than that, like Middleton and Antetokounmpo were basically the whole offense, 35 and 33. The next highest scorer was 9, Drew Holiday. And then after that, it was 4 by Bobby Portis. So Middleton and Antetokounmpo basically did all the scoring. It's just eerily weird game. Like it wasn't that good, to be honest. But the Bucks did squeak out a victory. It was just crazy that Bruce Brown got the shot at the end of the game. That caused a lot of controversy. When you have KD, when you have Kyrie Irving, you're down 3, and Bruce Brown is the one taking the shot, or down 2, and Bruce Brown is the one taking the shot. Or I think they were down 1 actually, because they made the free throws. But anyways, Bruce Brown, like, he decided there was 8 seconds left, and he decided to drive to the rim, and he got rejected by Brook Lopez. So that was one of the controversies of this game. Like, why is Bruce Brown taking the last shot for the Nets, and then KD couldn't hit the 3 to tie it at the end. In the end, Milwaukee gets the victory, and they get on the board. But I don't think they should be, if they're optimistic, they should look at their shooting percentages. They should look how the Nets aren't one of the best defensive teams, and if they ever turn it on, if their shots start falling, then they could tie up the series going back to Brooklyn. But there's a lot more reasons to be pessimistic. Durant, he didn't shoot well. Kyrie Irving didn't shoot well. James Harden is still hurt. He's not even there. We'll see when he comes back. Giannis can't make a free throw to save his life. Giannis doesn't have a bag. He has no reliable move to go to. He has no mid-range jumper. He has no three-point shot. He's attempting way too many threes in the game. I believe he had 8 attempts last game. He can't post up. He doesn't have a post move that he could go to. His handles aren't the best. It looks like he always wants to go right when they clog the paint. It's just when your best player has that many limitations, it's rough for you to get out of the second round. It's rough for you to succeed in the playoffs. And Chris Middleton was the best player on the court yesterday. I don't know how many games Chris Middleton is going to be the best player from the games remaining. So Drew Holiday can't seem to score. He had a bonehead play to end the first quarter where there was like 10 seconds left, and he let it run down to 4 seconds before he made a move, and then he lost the dribble. Drew Holiday has not been the player that the Bucks expected him to be in the playoffs. At least scoring wise, defense he's trying his best out there. There's a lot more negatives for Milwaukee Bucks, but like Giannis said, a win is a win, and they got to win. It doesn't matter if you win by 30 or if you win by 2 or 1. A win is a win, and they got to win. They keep themselves alive for the moment. We'll see if they show up in Game 4, because they didn't show up in Game 1. They didn't show up in Game 2. And in my opinion, they kind of showed up for Game 3, and they were able to squeak out the victory. But are we ever going to get a full, complete game where we're impressed by the Bucks, or are the Nets just that much better than them? I did have the Bucks winning in 7, so I'm hoping they go to 7 just so I look like a genius. But do I expect it to go 7? No. I think the Nets are clearly the best team. They'll get Harden back. They have way more talent on offense, and the Bucks are just struggling offensively for the most part. They can't stop. They figured out how to stop him for one game, but I don't think that's something that they'll be able to consistently do. And I'm just kind of starting to give up on Giannis. I mean, I like the guy. He was one of my favorite players. He's kind of getting annoying now. I don't know if he's up there anymore. But Giannis, man, like if you develop your game so much, if you were able to, go from I believe the 13th overall pick to a 2-time MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, like come on, man, just work on your free throws. Like stop shooting so many threes. Get a reliable mid-range jumper. That would make you not even a 3-point shot. Like just get a reliable mid-range jumper, and you'll be set. You'll be good, man. Like just get a move that you could go to, so you don't look like all you could do is just drive and spin and dunk and be long and stuff. That James Harden clip where he says that he has to actually play basketball. He has to actually have skills, not just like Antetokounmpo where he could just be athletic and long. Every playoffs that soundbite just sounds more and more correct. But what do you guys think? Are the Bucks done? I think they are. I don't think they'll be able to win Game 4. I'll be happily surprised if they do, because I wanted this to be a great series. So if they're able to make this a series and win Game 4, I'll be ecstatic. But I just don't. Even if they win Game 4 at the high, I don't think it'll go 7. I think 6. But realistically, this is going 5 games. The Nets will win Game 4 in Milwaukee, and then they'll wrap it up in Brooklyn. But what do you guys think? Let me know. Who do you guys have winning this series? And if it's the Nets, by how much? And if it's the Bucks, it's obviously going to be 7. They're not going to win 4 in a row. But let me know down below, or tweet at me. And moving along, last two topics of the day, the NFL. Julio Jones gets traded to the Titans for a 2nd-round pick, a 4th-round pick, and the Falcons get a 6th-round pick in return, I believe. What does this mean for the Titans? This means they have the best trifecta in the NFL. Julio Jones with Derrick Henry and Brown. That's just elite. A.J. Brown on one side. You have Julio Jones on the other. You have Derrick Henry, probably the best running back in the NFL in the backfield. Whew. If you're a Tennessee Titan fan, you should be excited. You should be ecstatic. You should be buying season tickets. This offense is going to be electric. For Tannehill, the pressure just goes up. You've been a great Cinderella story from going to Miami Dolphins, being the afterthought of that 2012 draft class where you had Andrew Luck, you had RG3, and then you had yourself. RG3 is basically out of the league. Luck is retired. You're the only quarterback left of those three. And it looked like you were gonna flop with the Miami Dolphins. You come to the Titans. You take the job from Mariota. You have a great season or a great rest of the half of that season that you took over. You had a great last season. You get the money. You get paid. I think you're getting paid $29 million per year now. Just ridiculous, crazy turnaround of a career. Shout out to Tannehill for doing that, especially because he was a wide receiver in college. If you don't know that. But now the pressure is on. You got A.J. Brown, you got Julio Jones, you got Derrick Henry. If the Titans offense isn't lighting up everybody, there's one person to blame, and it's Tannehill or the offensive coordinator. And I've heard great things about the offensive coordinator, so Tannehill needs to step it up. I think he will. He's had 2 great seasons. The numbers are there to back it up. He's been like one of the best quarterbacks behind Patrick Mahomes this last season and a half. So I do believe in Tannehill, or I want to believe in him, but I will not be surprised if he flops. But I want to wish him the best. I think he will succeed. And the Titans just become, they're either the 3rd or the 5th best team in the AFC now. It's the Chiefs at the top. The Bills are still up there. Josh Allen is a great quarterback, and they had a great season. I think they'll continue to be good this season. But after that, you could either put the Ravens, you could put the Browns, and you can put the Titans, the Colts. I have the Titans as the number 3 best team in the AFC after this. They are legitimate AFC contenders. If you have A.J. Brown, if you have Julio Jones, if you have Derrick Henry, what are you going to do? Are you going to double Julio? Are you going to double A.J.? And if you do, now you can't put 8 in the box for Derrick Henry. And it seems like a disaster. You get the play action going. You can go deep to AJ. You could go deep to Julio Jones. If they still had Jonnu Smith, that would be crazy. That would be a just insane offense. But they let him go. Now they have Julio Jones to replace him. What do you guys think? Do you think this is a good move? You guys think Julio Jones is going to get injured again? I believe he missed like 11 games last year. Or he only played like 7 games. I think he still has something left on the tank. I think he could still provide a lot for the Titans. When healthy, he's definitely like top 3 wide receivers in the NFL, top 5 minimum. But AJ Brown and Julio Jones, they're the best 1-2 punch in the NFL as far as wide receivers go. And their defense wasn't that great last year, but hopefully they do better this year. But more and more, the NFL is shifting towards an offensive-based league. You need more weapons. You need more wide receivers. You just need to score more points. And now the Titans get a bona fide star at the wide receiver position to go along with their other rising superstar of a wide receiver, that A.J. Brown. He's a Pro Bowler. He's the one that helped recruit Julio Jones. Like he said, let me help you, help me, help you. And I think he got it done. A.J. Brown is a great recruiter. The Titans pulled the trigger, and I think that they're going to be scary. Like, if you're in the AFC South, if you're the Colts, if you're the Jaguars, if you're the Texans, like, this is scary. Like, Julio Jones has at least three to 4 good years left, in my opinion, if he's able to stay healthy. I know he's had a lot of injury concerns, but he's a specimen, 6'3", 4'4", 40, build just like a Greek goddess. He can still get it done, in my opinion. I'm very excited. Like, the Titans now just become one of those teams that's must-watch TV. Like, if you're a fan of offense, if you're a fan of wide receivers, making nice catches, if you're a fan of running backs running over people, the Titans just become must-watch TV. I'm very excited. What do you guys think? Did the Titans give up too much? Did they give up too little for the Falcons? I think most fans expecting them to get a first, but pundits were saying a second at most. And in the end, it was a second and a fourth. It's crazy that Hopkins and Julio Jones both went for second-round picks. Hopkins kind of commented on it in a podcast, I believe. He was saying that there's no first rounders that are coming into the league that are better than them. You kind of give Jefferson some props, but I think they're right. There's not too many wide receivers better than Julio Jones and Hopkins still to this day. And for one, I was surprised that the market wasn't as hot for Julio Jones. I would have given up. I mean, maybe that's why I'm not a GM in the NFL. But if I think I'm close, I would have given up a first for Julio Jones. I applaud the Titans for pulling the trigger, for putting their chips in the middle. Like that's a ballsy move. Because imagine if the Patriots would have done it. Like, I'm pretty sure the Patriots could afford a second round pick. Like, why didn't they pull the trigger, man? You put Julio Jones with Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith, whoever you want to put at running back, and whoever is the quarterback. Like, that's just Mac Jones will be set up for success. Or if Cam Newton's gonna have a bounce back season, like that's the way to really get it done. Bringing in Julio Jones. The Packers want to, make amends with Aaron Rodgers. We'll touch on Aaron Rodgers in a little bit. Like, that was the perfect way to send, like, hey, here, take my second. I want Julio Jones. Or anybody. And, man, can you imagine if the Chiefs had given up a second-round pick? You put Julio Jones next to Tyreek Hill with Travis Kelce in the middle. Like, there's just endless possibilities. There's a lot of teams that should have given up a second. Maybe the Seahawks. I don't know if they even have their second next year, but you put Julio Jones next to DK Metcalf. Russell Wilson will be static. He'll be happy. But in the end, it was the Titans who did it. I applaud the Titans for pulling the trigger. I don't think they gave up too much. And in fact, I think it was a fair trade. If anything, I think the Titans won it. I really rate Julio Jones still very high. I might look like a fool. He might just get injured again. He does have an injury history. He might just consistently play like 8 to 10 games the rest of his career, and I'll look like a dumbass, and the Titans will look like they gave up too much. But I have faith in Julio Jones. Hopefully he can stay healthy. Hopefully he can stay on the field. And now the Titans are legitimate AFC contenders. What do you guys think, though? Let me know. And to wrap up this episode, Aaron Rodgers is still missing from mandatory Packers OTAs. What does this mean for the Packers? It means that they have to speed up the clock on Love. He needs to step it up. He needs to show that he got it. Jordan Love, he's getting the reps in their OTAs now. He has to show up. He has to look good, because if not, then the Packers are gonna fold. This is a game of chicken. Who's gonna move first? Is it gonna be the Packers? Is it gonna be Aaron Rodgers? One of them's gonna fold and the other one's gonna win. Are the Packers gonna fire the GM or whoever Rodgers says he doesn't like, or is Rodgers gonna look at the Packers, see the situation, analyze it, and say, "Damn, I really do want to win another chip. This team is close. We're right there. We're almost there." The Matt LaFleur has really gotten us close to the Super Bowl. Maybe I could just suck it up and come back. But we'll see. We'll see who folds first. And if Jordan Love looks good in minicamp, if he shows some signs of progress, if he shows some flashes, then I think that'll give the Packers more of an incentive to just stay firm, not give in to Rodgers' request. And then we might see Rodgers get traded, which sounds crazy, but no hate against Jordan Love. I think he could be a great quarterback someday. He was like everyone was saying before the draft that he was a project quarterback, and he was the third string quarterback last year. Sometimes he didn't even suit up, I believe. So I don't think he's gonna be ready for the limelight this year, even though they want him to be ready, even though the best case scenario for the Packers and maybe even for Aaron Rodgers is that Jordan Love shows signs of promise. Jordan Love shows signs that he's ready, and then the Packers are just willing to let go of Aaron Rodgers, and Jordan Love gets to, start his reign as the Packers starting quarterback. That would be the perfect scenario probably for both parties, but I just don't think Jordan Love is at that level yet or is ready. So I think the most realistic option, in my opinion, is that the Packers are the team that folds. Aaron Rodgers stays away, and the Packers somehow fold, and they're able to get Aaron Rodgers to be their starting quarterback for week 1. He is the reigning MVP. He still has lots of years left, in my opinion. We're seeing what Brady has done at the age of 43. I think Rodgers could play till he's 40, 41. He still has a great arm. MVP this late into his career is amazing. So I think the Packers will be foolish. If anything, they should trade Jordan Love just to make Aaron Rodgers happier, even though he said that's not the issue. The issue has been with the front office. But we'll see how this plays out. It's just murky. It's something we got to keep an eye out on for the rest of this offseason. It's not going to go away until something happens. But in my heart of hearts, I do think Aaron Rodgers will be the starting quarterback for the Packers in week 1. I just can't really wrap my head around the Packers trading the reigning MVP to another team. That doesn't make sense to me. That would be crazy, and I don't think Jordan Love is ready. I think he needs to sit down behind Aaron Rodgers for a couple more years before he's ready. But we've seen crazy things happen in the NFL, especially lately. There seems to be no loyalty from teams to players, and the other way around. I don't blame the players. I'm glad for them to be leaving, for lack of a better term, shitty situations. Like, hey, if you're not happy, just like leave, force the trade. Like, I'm all for player movement and player empowerment. For these GMs, for these teams, players are just a revolving door. Like, long after Aaron Rodgers is retired, the Packers are still gonna be there. They're gonna be dealing with the same issues. I've heard stories where, like, GMs and owners, they start kind of like dehumanizing these players. Like, to them, they're not really like humans or like players. They're just they have a time period that they're gonna be useful for them, and then that's all that they really are. This is a business for them, and you're just another part of their cog of the whole big machine. So if Aaron Rodgers wants to leave, I'm all for it. I'm not upset at him for missing minicamp or OTAs. Do what you got to do, man. Take care. We've mental health awareness month just passed last month, so hey, and we're all for empowerment. If you don't like your job, leave, find a better job. Don't stay at a place that doesn't appreciate you. Don't stay at a place that you don't feel like you're welcome, that they're doing everything to make you feel good. And Aaron Rodgers, the reigning MVP, he's one of one. Like, there's not another Aaron Rodgers. The Packers can't go out there and get a better quarterback than them. So I think he has the most power in this situation. If he's even flirted with the idea that he might retire before he plays for the Packers again, that would be extreme. That would be crazy. But we'll see how this whole situation plays out. Definitely a murky situation over there in Green Bay. I know Packer fans would love to have him back, and the team is kind of trying to put stuff out there to make Aaron Rodgers look like the bad guy. Some statement came out where they're saying that the fan base is divided because of this. But if the fan base is smart, I believe they should side with Aaron Rodgers. I think he's for the most part, he's carried himself correctly. I know people question his character sometimes, but from what I've seen in the Pat McAfee show, he's a real stand-up guy. He sounds very chill, and he knows how to articulate himself. So, and the Packers, they have been known to be like a shitty franchise. Like, they're cheap, and if he doesn't like that GM, I think Aaron Rodgers has good reason. But with that being said, what do you guys think is gonna happen with the Packers? Do you guys see Aaron Rodgers being the starting quarterback for the Packers, or is he going to be traded? And what team is he going to get traded to? Is he going to retire? There's just so many possibilities. Let me know what you guys think. And that should be it for this episode of the Hard to Handle Sports Podcast, episode 51. The Euros just started. There's going to be great games for a whole month. Be making videos on that. The NBA playoffs are happening right now. Philly and the Hawks are tied at 1-1. I'm going to check up on that right now. Also, the Suns are up 2-0 on Djokovic, the MVP. I'm going to see that game after this Hawks game. Probably do an episode this weekend on these NBA playoff games. The French Open comes to its conclusion on Sunday. We got to start getting ready for Wimbledon. And there's just a lot of sports going on right now. So, like always, thank you for listening to me. Thank you for being a part of the Hard to Handle Sports family. If you made it this far, I appreciate you. And just subscribe to the podcast wherever you're listening to this, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Appreciate you all so much. Have a great rest of your day. I'm out.